I will share a hidden reality regarding what actually draws women nearer during initial dialogues. High percentages of men never truly understand it. It is not concerning stature, riches, or celebrity facial features. It is not regarding expensive attire or witty remarks. The genuine power resides within the vocabulary you select early on. Tiny expressions mold sentiment. Sentiment molds draw, and draw develops from how she perceives, not what she observes. Currently, numerous men remain stuck in forgettable dialogues that vanish the second they conclude. You have likely witnessed this occur previously. Perhaps you departed from a dialogue and pondered, why did that feel so mundane? Or perhaps you have observed someone else talk to a woman and somehow the spirit shifted. Suddenly, she was leaning forward, grinning longer, giving focus in a way that felt unique. If you have ever felt that second or questioned why some dialogues seem to ignite bonds while others softly slip away, I want you to halt for a moment and reflect upon it, because what we are starting to discuss might clarify something you have spotted many times but never fully grasped. After tracking endless genuine exchanges, a template becomes evident. Specific terms trigger interest, ease, and emotional focus almost immediately. These templates are not difficult ploys. They are instinctive reactions that recur across societies and spirits. When utilized naturally, they assist dialogues feel vibrant. They build a sense of cadence. One remark ignites interest. Another constructs emotional peace. The third contributes mystery. Combined, they create a silent system that fosters draw without tension. And before we proceed further into this, let me present myself properly. I am Emily Carter, and you are viewing The Female Game. This platform is where we analyze the genuine psychology behind draw, interaction, and emotional bonds between men and women. If you are someone who desires to grasp women on profound levels instead of learning surface-level tips, you are precisely where you should be. And if you relish dialogues like this, ensure you register and remain with me until the finish, because what I am starting to reveal will entirely alter how you tackle your next dialogue. Now visualize a second most individuals have felt at least once. You encounter someone fresh. The dialogue begins with casual talk. Where are you from? What do you do? How was your holiday? It feels civil, but something is lacking. The spirit remains dull. Both individuals are technically talking, but neither individual feels drawn into the trade. Then suddenly, something fluctuates. Her eyes light a bit. Her posture softens. The dialogue slows down in a pleasant way. Instead of feeling hurried, there is a gap, but it doesn't feel clumsy. It feels intriguing, like something genuine might occur next. That fluctuation is not accidental. It is the mind reacting to emotional cues. Draw frequently starts in milliseconds, and terms steer that path. When picked with care, they function like toggles that switch focus entirely toward you. This is why two men can utter almost the same things, yet one dialogue feels magnetic while the other feels uninspiring. For decades, I analyzed how dialogues either climb into bonds or softly fail into politeness. And one of the biggest errors men commit is pursuing grand sentences instead of significant sentiment. They attempt to sound smart. They attempt to sound grand. Occasionally, they even attempt to act. But draw is not moved by acting. It reacts to emotional peace. When a woman feels understood and observed, something inside her eases. Her defense melts. And that is the second when bonding starts. These expressions function because they skip logic and talk directly to sentiment. They are not pickup remarks. They are not ploys. They are interaction paths based in psychology. They follow classic social tenets that existed long before current dating tips ever surfaced. People seldom recall the precise word someone utilized, but they always recall how that individual made them feel. Emotional memory sticks your presence to a positive inner feeling. And when that occurs, the mind starts linking you with ease, interest, and focus. That emotional link is the silent start of draw. The first remark triggers interest. Interest is one of the firmest forces in human focus. When the mind detects an unfinished thought, it naturally hunts for closure. You have likely felt this. When someone starts narrating a tale and then halts halfway through, suddenly your focus sharpens. You want to grasp what occurs next. That is interest functioning inside the psyche. And when utilized softly in dialogue, interest can change a common trait into something iconic. Visualize she shares a private tale. Perhaps she cites a pastime, a youth memory, or something regarding her spirit. Instead of reacting with a basic remark, you say something like this. You suggest someone to me, then halt and then contribute softly. Actually, never mind, and proceed with the dialogue naturally. You don't gaze at her. You don't stress it. You simply move onward as if the thought drifted away. That small, unfinished thought triggers interest in the mind. Her psyche starts circling the second. Who did he suggest? Why did he halt? What was he going to utter? The secret here is softness. You are not attempting to force interest. You are simply permitting room for focus to expand. And here is the intriguing part. Frequently, she will revisit that second later. She might grin and inquire, "Wait, who did I suggest to you earlier?" When that second arrives, you show a careful observation regarding her spirit, not her looks, not something shallow, something significant. For instance, you might utter, "You suggested someone I know who has this quiet way of making everyone around them feel relaxed. When you narrated that tale earlier, it felt alike." That second changes casual talk into validation. And validation is potent because when someone feels validated beyond the exterior, they feel observed. And feeling observed is one of the firmest emotional sparks of draw. But the genuine power of this remark is control. You are not rushing to clarify everything immediately. You are permitting room for fantasy. And fantasy is one of the firmest emotional boosters inside the human psyche. Draw frequently expands in the gaps between terms. Now let's talk about the second remark. This one is something most men try, but very few actually grasp: the praise. Most praises fail because they are predictable. Gorgeous women hear the same praises constantly. "You are lovely. You have stunning eyes. You look fantastic." After hearing hundreds of times, they start mixing together. They lose emotional force. They become background noise. But a praise based in observation pierces through that noise instantly because it demonstrates focus. And focus indicates emotional sharpness. Instead of admiring looks, you recognize spirit or conduct. For instance, you might utter, "The way you clarified that was really vivid and careful." Or, "You have a quiet way of making people feel relaxed." Observe something vital here. These praises are not regarding how she looks. They are regarding who she is. And when someone feels valued for their spirit instead of their looks, the emotional force is much firmer. Precise praises build firmer emotional reactions than basic admiration. They trigger gratitude instead of doubt. Basic flattery frequently feels shallow. Observational praise feels real. And when she detects truth, her nervous system eases. Peace boosts draw. Peace invites candor. Give the praise softly. Keep gentle eye contact. Then proceed with the dialogue normally without hunting for approval. The objective is not clapping. The objective is emotional echo. Inside her psyche, two sentiments usually surface almost immediately: shock, then gratitude, and those sentiments softly link themselves to you. A skilled version of this method mixes validation and thanks. For instance, visualize you spot something subtle regarding how she interacts with others. Perhaps she brings quieter people into the dialogue. Perhaps she attends carefully before talking. Most people never obtain praises for social care, so when you utter something like, "I spotted earlier that you ensured everyone had a chance to talk," not many people do that. It strikes differently because it builds character, and character-based praises remain in memory far longer than looks-based admiration. But here is something vital. Timing counts. If the praise arrives too fast or too strongly, it can feel intense. Early dialogues need stability. The praise should feel like a natural observation, not a lamp. Draw expands best in comfortable light, not heavy focus. Now, the third remark presents something many people mistake. Mystery. Mystery does not arrive from quiet or acting like a secret. Genuine mystery arrives from partial truth. It occurs when you show something slightly unexpected regarding yourself. Perhaps a tiny mistake, perhaps a rare view, perhaps a minor vulnerability. This indicates poise because only steady people grant flaws softly. That gap builds focus. For instance, visualize she inquires what you relish doing in your open time. Instead of giving a predictable reply, you might utter something like, I actually have a weird routine. I relish going on long strolls without music or media, just quiet. Most people think that is odd. That second builds mystery because it shows spirit, and when hopes shift slightly, interest returns. She starts wanting to grasp you, and that interest tugs the dialogue deeper. These three remarks are not masks. They are instruments for showing your genuine spirit more vividly. Truth is the base. Without truth, methods fail. With truth, they boost bonding instead of taking its place. As you apply these concepts, you will start spotting subtle shifts. Women lean closer. Inquiries become more careful. Giggles surface faster. These are markers of emotional focus. And focus is the entry to draw. But there is another subtle conversational step that shifts spirit even further, and most people never grasp how potent it is until they feel it. We will talk about that in a moment. Before we proceed, I am curious regarding something. Have you ever had a dialogue where everything suddenly clicked, where the spirit felt natural and simple? If you have, inform me about it in the feedback. I love viewing those tales because they show something amazing regarding human bonds. Now, let's proceed because the next concept might entirely alter how you reply to private inquiries in dialogue. And once you grasp it, you will start spotting it everywhere. Poise expands from repetition. Each thriving interaction builds stillness. Stillness makes your tone firmer. A firm tone conveys emotional peace. And emotional peace is deeply alluring because it indicates safety. But there is another subtle step that shifts dialogue spirit in a way most people never predict. It occurs when someone asks you a private inquiry. Most dialogues follow a predictable cadence. Inquiry, reply, next inquiry, next reply. This template slowly turns the trade into something that feels like an exam. It becomes robotic. When you softly break that cadence, something intriguing occurs. Instead of replying immediately, you grin softly and utter, "What do you think?" This basic flip does something potent inside the human mind. It invites fantasy, and fantasy naturally boosts emotional effort. Suddenly, she is no longer just asking inquiries. She is helping in the build of the dialogue. She starts guessing. She starts tracking you more closely. She starts showing her views regarding you. And in that second, something very vital fluctuates. The dialogue becomes shared instead of a show. For instance, visualize she asks you, "So what made you pick your job?" Instead of immediately clarifying, you could reply jokingly, "I am curious, what do you think the cause is?" Now she becomes part of the trade. Perhaps she guesses your spirit. Perhaps she shares what she spotted regarding you so far. And through that guess, she shows something regarding her own values and views. This is one of the most amazing parts of dialogue psychology. People show themselves while attempting to grasp others. And when that path feels joking instead of heavy, draw frequently surfaces naturally, but there is a small detail that makes this method function. Pause. Quiet is not your foe in dialogue. In fact, quiet frequently boosts meaning. A short pause before reacting adds weight to your terms. It indicates that you are relaxed, eased, and not hurrying to fill every second. And that calm state conveys poise without a single sentence. Your physical cues count here, too. A relaxed grin, soft eye contact, a slight lean of interest in your tone. These micro cues tell the mind something vital. This individual is relaxed being here, and being here is magnetic. But recall something vital. Do not repeat the flip method too much. If every inquiry gets the same joking reply, it can start feeling slippery. Stability keeps it pleasant. The deeper rule here is something I want you to recall. Emotional guidance. You are not ruling the dialogue. You are steering the spirit. Emotional guidance means you stay eased while softly inviting focus. You mold cadence without forcing path. And when someone feels that calm steering, the dialogue starts moving naturally. This rule goes far beyond dating. It boosts friendships, it firms work bonds, it changes social presence, because interaction is not solely regarding data, it is regarding emotional feel. Facts alone will not alter your trades. Practice will. So, here is something I prompt you to try this week. Pick just one of these remarks, only one. Use it naturally in a genuine dialogue. Track what occurs. Did the spirit fluctuate? Did interest surface? Did the dialogue remain longer? Thinking builds social power far faster than theory ever will. And here is something even more vital. Give focus to your inner emotional state. If your thoughts are hurried, your talk becomes tight. If your psyche is still, your tone naturally becomes firm. Draw reflects emotional air. Build the emotional air you want others to feel. As you keep practicing, dialogues start feeling smoother. Quiet becomes lighter. You stop hunting for approval and start relishing the trade. And relishing is magnetic. People move toward those who genuinely relish their own being. This is one of the quiet realities regarding draw that many people miss. Draw is seldom loud. It expands softly through repeated moments of ease, interest, and emotional flow. These remarks simply unlock the door. Your truth keeps that door open. Remain patient with yourself. Skill does not surface overnight. It expands slowly through focus, feel, and thought. Every trade becomes data, not trial. Data. And when you tackle social feels with interest instead of tension, growth occurs naturally. Finally, firm bonding comes from three basic traits: clarity, truth, emotional focus. Methods steer the path, but spirit holds the end. When both match, draw happens without force, so use these concepts softly. Talk with intent. Listen with genuine focus. Permit dialogues to move instead of attempting to rule every second. When being here replaces acting, people feel it immediately, and that feel is what draws them nearer. If you relished this talk and want more views into human bonds and psychology, ensure you register for the female game and enter this group. And before you depart, I would love to hear your views. Which concepts stood out to you the most today? The interest remark, the hidden praise, or the joking inquiry flip? Inform me in the feedback. I view them all, and your tales frequently spark the next talks we have here together. And recall something basic, but potent. Terms mold emotional, feel more than rank ever will. A man with focus and careful talk frequently creates firmer draw than someone leaning only on looks or riches, because emotional sharpness leaves a firmer mark than outer signs. Thank you for using this time with me. I will see you in the next talk. Before we end, I want you to halt for a second and reflect on something basic but potent. Reflect on the last time you met someone who felt simple to talk to, someone who didn't try too hard, someone who didn't hurry to move you, yet somehow the dialogue stayed with you long after it finished. What made that trait iconic? Most of the time, it wasn't because that individual uttered something amazing. It wasn't because they utilized witty remarks or heavy stories. It was because they utilized witty remarks or heavy stories. It was because they built a feel of ease, a feel of interest, a feel that the dialogue had room to move. That is the genuine secret behind draw in dialogue. It is not regarding acting, it is regarding building an emotional air. And once you grasp that, everything starts to shift. The remarks we discussed today are simply small paths into that air. The interest remark builds a soft tension that makes the mind lean forward. The hidden praise builds emotional recognition that makes someone feel observed. The joking inquiry flip builds shared spirit that changes a dialogue into something vibrant. Alone, each one is subtle, but together they alter the cadence of trade in a potent way. And here is something very vital to recall. These concepts only function when they arrive from a place of truth. If you attempt to force them, people will feel it. Human beings are highly aware of emotional truth. We detect tone, intent, and spirit faster than we detect terms. So the genuine skill is not learning remarks. The genuine skill is becoming more here. Being here alters everything. When you are truly here in a dialogue, you spot details. You spot tone. You spot how someone reacts, how they giggle, how they halt before talking. And those small checks permit you to react in ways that feel natural instead of learned. This is why emotional sharpness is such a potent edge in interaction. It permits you to adjust instead of act. It permits you to bond instead of move. And oddly, the second you stop attempting to move people is frequently the second they become most focused on you. Because poise is quiet. Poise doesn't hurry. Poise permits room. One of the most amazing psychological templates I have tracked over the years is this. The people who build the firmest draw are seldom the ones trying hardest to build it. They are simply relaxed being themselves while giving focus to the other individual. They attend, they react carefully. They permit interest and sentiment to naturally surface in the trade. And that mix feels incredibly rare in today's quick world. Most dialogues today move too fast. People block each other. People hurry to fill quiet. People try to show their worth before the other individual has even finished talking. But when someone slows down, attends carefully, and talks with intent, it immediately stands out. It feels unique. It feels calm. It feels alluring. And that calm being is something you can build. Not overnight, but slowly. Begin by practicing focus. The next time you are talking with someone, try something basic. Instead of planning your next sentence while they talk, focus entirely on what they are uttering. Listen to their tone. Spot their looks. Give focus to the small details in their tale. When you react to what actually counted in what they uttered. You will be shocked how fast dialogues become deeper when someone feels truly heard. Because feeling heard is one of the most potent emotional feels we can grant another individual. And interestingly, when you make someone feel heard, they naturally become more focused on you. This occurs because the mind links you with a positive emotional feel. Again, it returns to that same rule. People recall how you made them feel. Another small task I frequently prompt is this: practice being relaxed with quiet. Most people worry when a pause surfaces in dialogue. They hurry to fill it with terms, jokes, or claims. But quiet is not a flaw. Quiet is room, and room permits sentiment to settle and meaning to strike. If you utter something careful and then permit a short pause afterward, the force of your terms actually boosts. The mind feels the second. The other individual reflects on what you uttered, and suddenly the dialogue feels deeper without needing more terms. This is why great speakers frequently talk slightly slower than normal. They permit moments to move. They don't hurry through emotional trades. They give the interaction time to expand naturally. So if there is one routine you can start building today, it is this. Slow down your dialogues. Attend more carefully. Talk with more intent. Permit interest to surface naturally, and watch how people react differently to you. Now I want to inquire something vital. When you reflect on your own dialogues, which part do you think you struggle with the most? Is it starting dialogues? Is it keeping them intriguing? Or is it feeling poised enough to show your spirit? Let me know in the feedback. Truly, I read through them all, and the feels people share there frequently spark future talks on this platform. Occasionally, the most potent views arrive from the tales you share with each other. And if today's talk helped you see interaction in a fresh way, take a second to like the clip and register for the female game. It helps the platform grow and permits us to keep analyzing the psychology of human bonds together, because that is really what this room is regarding. Not fast ploys, not control, but grasping the deeper emotional patterns that mold, draw, bonds, and interaction. The more you grasp those patterns, the less baffling human bonding becomes, and the more natural your trades start to feel. So, as you enter your next dialogue, recall something basic. You don't need perfect terms. You don't need a perfect script. You just need focus, interest, and the drive to be here. Let your terms show genuine focus. Let your praises show genuine observation. Let your interest invite deeper trade. When those three things match, dialogues stop feeling like work. They start feeling like discovery. And discovery is one of the most alluring emotional feels we can share with another individual. Thank you for using this time with me today. And until our next talk, recall this. When being here replaces acting, people feel it immediately. And that feel is what softly draws them nearer.